If you hear any odd noises in the background, I do apologise. There are 3 dogs in my room and not one of them can seem to settle long enough for me to record so much as 10 seconds without them rolling around or eating, I think, a loo roll. Okay. Before we get into the subject of today's video, I have 2 announcements. The first is that the competition for the 3 badges that I offered up ends next Friday. Voting will then take place over the weekend on my server, courtesy of patrons, unless you're a patron and have entered, in which case you are not eligible to vote. The competition is to fill the 2 screens you see here. It doesn't have to be a fan art of me. I should be clear. They are, after all, computer screen. Why would I want to look at myself? If you are at all interested in entering, email address will be linked down below. That's where you send your entry. Another thing, the final tale I will be reading from H.P. Lovecraft, not Mountain of Madness, I'm sorry. Maybe I'll get to it another time, who knows? Maybe I'll just put it on SoundCloud as audio. Will be The Call of Cthulhu, and that'll be out later today. Please consider joining. I will be premiering it at, I think, 7 PM GMT. Hope to see you all there. Now, the video I want to make today, and the subject we are going to cover, is an update. An update to a subject we have covered twice before, not Shamima Begum. I'm pretty sure those videos are in double digits by now, and I'm still waiting to find out if she gets repatriated or not. No, the subject is going to centre around James. Most people will recognise the hashtag #SaveJames. This comes from a young boy called James Younger, who's in the middle of a custody battle between his parents, Anne and Jeffrey Younger. I'm going to mention it now because many will undoubtedly reference this. Yes, Anne is not the biological mother of James, yet she retains most of the custody. The recent court case that took place was to decide whether or not Anne would get full conservatorship over the child James. The reason why is because she wanted to transition her son, she being a doctor, and then got 3 medical professionals to also diagnose the child with gender dysphoria, to Luna. Now, she had originally won this, but a Texas judge has since ruled that both parents have conservatorship over the child, which means they must make all medical decisions together. Essentially, Jeffrey can now simply cross his arms and go, no, deal with it. Because he believes that his son is simply confused, and that is quite common among children. Why take an unnecessary risk now and use unnecessary procedures now, have access to unnecessary medication now? Why bother? Why prep them for something when children can change their mind like that? There is no point, especially if the child is not making the decision for themselves anyway, which we now know for certain because, and this is the update to it, James has decided to attend school as a boy. Now, James could be just conforming to societal standards, being too ashamed to be the big, beautiful him that he is meant to be as Luna. Or it's more than likely, since his father has repeatedly shown proof and evidence that his son just wants to be a son, and that his mother is trying to change him into a girl, that his mother is being ridiculously manipulative to get something that she wants, because all she wants really is a trophy. On a post to Facebook, the Save James page no less, a picture was posted with the caption, "Going to school, this is what it looks like when James gets to choose, affirm this," which also included a photo taken before church. James and Jude, proud to be men, Save James, saved thousands of children. One of the big accusations to come from Jeff, aimed at Anne, was that she was trying to force her child to transition socially by making her child wear dresses for her own sake, or for her own benefit. Photos updated on website here, you make your own mind up. With Judge Kim Cooks ruling that both parents have joint conservatorship over James transitioning, both parents have to make joint medical decisions, which does include hormone therapy. They also have joint decisions over haircuts, dental, psychiatric care, which will also be mandatory. Jeff and Anne also both have to go to counselling. Just before the ruling was announced, Jeffrey Younger told the Daily Mail that he was not expecting a good outcome, being quoted as saying, "I'm not anticipating a good result for my son. I don't think I'm going to be able to stop the social transition of my son, which will probably lead to his medical transition." This all began when Anne decided to get greedy back in 2018 to change their joint custody arrangement, which required Jeffrey Younger to refer to their child as Luna. I am somewhat surprised, by the way, that the other son has remained unharmed in all of this. It should also be noted that when they went through the IVF route and used a surrogate back in 2012, they intentionally requested their baby's gender be male before the birth. I don't know if that's possible or whether they did do that back then or if it was possible back then, but that's interesting. For Anne, the thing that made her decide to go and pursue this lunacy was that her son, James, started to request girl-themed toys, imitating female Disney characters and asking to wear dresses. This does not mean your son is trans, by the way. It just means he wants to play with something different. One of the most outrageous claims that was overlooked, I believe, to an extent, and I think wrongly, was the fact that Anne went so far as, when FaceTiming her father, James would be dressed up as a drag queen, akin to that of Desmond is Amazing, with fake eyelashes, makeup, glitter in hair, and wearing a dress. Now, I should point out, I take no issue with a child dressing up however they want, if they choose to, but the accusation this child was being groomed from the age of 3 by the mother to be what the mother wants them to be as opposed to what they want to be is quite alarming and prevalent throughout this entire case. I hope James is able to make an informed decision when James is an adult. Until then, James is just a child. Maybe we should go back to the 15th century and just call all children girl. Was it boy? Doesn't matter. I'm joking, by the way. If you couldn't tell, no one ever cares. Dead delivery and all that. I know too many people that do. Never mind. The argument that Jeffrey Younger presents when it comes to whether or not this is sexual abuse is the fact that this is just the most fundamental form of abuse by tampering with the sexual identity of a vulnerable boy. Not entirely sure I'm okay with using the words sexual and boy in the same sentence, but it's a quote from the father, not me. With this case and what has happened, the result that is, and I do apologise for being a bit late on this one, I kind of forgot. I'm very interested to know what you think, and whether or not you think the mother should have any control, whether the father should have any control, and what you think should happen with regards to James. For all we know, James may well grow up and then make the decision as an adult to be Luna, although if the mother keeps peddling the idea, she'll say it's his split personality, cementing the belief that Jeffrey Younger has that the child is being abused at the most basic level. So please let me know in the comments below. If I don't see you over on the Moisky Reads channel for Call of Cthulhu, I hope you will have a fantastic Friday and subsequent weekend. I shall mostly, tomorrow especially, be working on the Nico Cardo Avocado video. And thank you all for listening.